Okay, so how do you know when the right time is to actually quit your job and take that leap of faith and get to the other side where you now have started your own business and you're doing it full time? Here's what I did, and here are some things to keep in mind so that it will work out for you. So, back in 2011, or I think it might have been like 2012, I had a sales and marketing job, and I ended up quitting that and became a full time life coach. And I was a part of another group of coaches. It wasn't my business. I was a coach on their roster serving our clients, but I had a pretty full schedule. I could do pretty much whatever I wanted to go out and create clients. And then in 2017, I ended up quitting that position and then went full time in my own business, doing what I do now, helping coaches and consultants grow their business. So I've, in a sense, quit a job twice in my life, making a leap from one thing to another in a meaningful way. And so what I learned along the way are some important tips. The first one that I would suggest for you is when you make that leap, make sure that you've got at least 2 to 3 people already having success with whatever it is that you want to be doing. At bare minimum, one person that's already having success with what you want to be doing in your life. The reason why that's so important is because now you've gone from being in a job where you've got people that you're hanging out with, talking to, it's a social atmosphere, to now being entirely on your own. You're a lone wolf. And so you'll really be needing some kind of social network, some kind of support system in place to help you out. And having people that are not only there that understand what you're doing, because that's one thing, because most of the people in your life, when you make that transition, are not going to understand what you're doing. You've got that, but you also have people that have been there and done that you can pick their brain, you can ask them for advice, you can say, hey, I'm starting out, what do I need to do? What do I need to keep in mind to make sure this actually works and pans out? And they'll be happy to do that. When I went from sales and marketing into coaching, I had about 4 or 5 good friends in my life that were also coaches that were creating clients and growing their business. And so I was always asking them, what are you doing to attract clients? What's your web presence like? What kind of events are you going to? Where are you spending your time and your energy to grow your business? And I was able to ask them these questions, and we were both able to help each other out along the way. And this made a huge difference. I didn't feel like I was totally alone. So having those key people in your life are important. And the next most important tip is around creating some kind of momentum or success in advance. So when you're working your job, start your business part-time. So if you haven't already done it right now, launch your business part-time while you're working that 9 to 5. Create some level of meaningful results, because if you try to go from working a job to launching that business and having to go through that learning curve, because believe me, no matter what you're doing, there is going to be a substantial learning curve. You're gonna have to learn a lot. You're gonna get hit in the face a few times. There's things that you think will work that won't. There's things that you think will happen that won't. There's things that you could never predict would happen, will happen. And so as you go through that learning curve, it's a lot easier if you already have some results underneath your belt. You've already gotten your first few clients or customers. You already have that feeling of confidence, like I can do this. It's a lot harder and there's a lot more pressure on you if you leave the job and then decide to start. So right now, while it's a part-time thing outside of your 9 to 5 hours, go ahead and start putting a lot of energy as you can into your business. A lot of times I would get asked, how are you working your 9 to 5, getting off work, and then finding any time at all for coaching your clients? And the way that I was able to do that was I wasn't getting emotionally and mentally wrapped up in the job. I wasn't participating in the office drama. I wasn't bitching and complaining when other people were bitching and complaining about what was going on. I wasn't getting myself emotionally invested. I was still doing everything I needed to do. I was still showing up on time. I was still completing everything, even though in my mind I knew I'm not going to be here much longer. I still got everything done that they asked of me and then some, but I wasn't getting myself all worked up energetically. What creates burnout, whether you're in your own business or you're in a job, is emotions more than anything else. If you're getting emotionally worked up a lot at your job, it means you're going to be exhausted when you get home, and then there's no energy left over to pursue your dream, doing what you want to do. So rent yourself out, so to speak, where you're not emotionally there. You're still mentally present, you're still physically present, you're still doing everything you need to do, but emotionally, that's not where your heart is anymore. And so if you're able to protect yourself that way, it means working part-time is much easier. The next big suggestion that I would give is to make sure you've got some kind of buffer, at least 3 to 6 months of your income saved up before you make that transition. You're going to be taking a leap of faith. And so, number one, it's nice to have some room, some time for you as you go through that learning curve and really figure out if you can do it or not. It's nice to have a good 3 to 6 months. I know people that have had even up to a year's worth of savings good to go as you make that transition. It takes a lot of the pressure off. You don't feel like you have to get things going right away. And another thing to keep in mind is you're going to need help. You're going to need other resources. You're going to need to pay some people to help you grow your business, whether it's hiring a mentor, whether it's hiring some team or some company to help you out, or paying for a service or an asset. You're going to need some support in your business. You're going to want some funds that you can allocate toward what it is you're doing. And so having 3 to 6 months of additional income in the bank really helps. Just don't get lackadaisical with it and think that now you're out of the job, you're in a sense on paid vacation. Take a break if you want to, but really make sure that you're taking care of you and your family's needs, or if you are going solo, make sure that you're taking care of your own needs and that you're not just being foolish and thinking, all right, cool, I can sit and I can chill out for weeks and even a month after I've left that job. Use it and allocate it right back into your business. The next huge tip for you is to set a schedule and stick to it. You've been in a job where so much of your life has been dictated to you. You're told where you got to be and when you got to be there and what you need to do by what point. And now it's totally open. It's entirely up to you as an entrepreneur. And this in and of itself is daunting. And I remember for me, there were times when I would look at a blank calendar and think, oh my goodness, like what do I do? I'm so used to having everything dictated to me, and now I've got total freedom. It's almost too much freedom. So having structure is really important. You don't want to just go from being a really rigid, structured life at your job to now no structure at all. It's too big of a yo-yo. Like you'll snap into some circumstances that won't support you. And so you want to still maintain some structure. And what I say is look at what you want to accomplish this year in your business and then reverse engineer that. Look at what it would take this month to get you there, what it would take then this week to get you to that month, and then what you need to do today to make sure that you got everything accomplished this week. And then go into your calendar and then schedule those items during each day and actually block out periods of time that you're focused on just doing one of those things at a time. If you set up, and this would happen to me a lot, I would set up a 3-hour block of time to get something done, and then every time around it would take me all 3 hours to fill it up. But if I would push myself and say, all right, I'm going to give myself 1 hour to get this done, it would take me an hour to get it done. There's a difference in rhythm between sprinting and just going through the motions in your business. Rather than setting up your schedule to look like wake up and start at 7 or 8 in the morning and then go until 10 or 11 at night and then repeat. Stick to a 9 to 5. It's what you're used to right now. It's what your body is used to right now. Your body is used to waking up at 7:30 and then getting in the office and starting to be productive around 9. Maintain that same schedule. Don't try to just switch everything up unless you feel perfectly confident you can stick to it. Stick to a 9 to 5 and think, instead of running that marathon all day long, think like a sprinter. So work in 45-minute to 1 hour blocks and sprint and then stop. Give yourself a lunch break. Give yourself 5 minutes to take a walk. Give yourself 30 minutes to go work out. Give yourself an hour to do something fun during your day. You don't have to make it this long 12, 14-hour slog. I did, and that's one of the biggest things that I regret. I feel like I could have been way more productive managing my energy instead of just managing my time. So when you now are on your own as an entrepreneur, it's going to be tempting to put in 12 and 14-hour days because there's fear, there's pressure around, I have to make this work. I have to make my business pay me money, and I get that. But ultimately, setting yourself up with something like that is going to kill your vitality and your energy, and therefore your productivity. And also how attractive you are to your customers and clients. You want to be on top of your game. You want to be feeling great. You want to be mentally sound. You want to be emotionally in the zone so that you're showing up your best each and every day. And the best way that I would suggest is to, instead of setting up that long day, stick to like a 9 to 5 schedule and sprint during these blocks of time. That is some of the biggest advice that I can give you. For me, I like to do something with my body in the morning. So I like to work out or engage it. I like to take a lunch break with me. We've 2 little ones in our family. So the 4 of us all get to hang out during my lunch break. I do breakfast with my family. I'll do lunch with my family, and I'll do dinner with my family as well. I'm done every day at 5:30 at the absolute latest. And then occasionally I might have a meeting or 2 at night. But I'm balancing my own mental and emotional well-being. So I'm taking care of my body and my mind every day, taking care of my business every day, and then allocating time to my family too. And if I wasn't doing that, if it was all just business, I know I wouldn't be nearly as successful as I am today. And I really hope this resonates with you. So set up a schedule and stick to it. It's probably the best advice. Ultimately, the most simple but direct thing I can say is you're going to have to take a leap of faith at some point. You're going to need to make that jump. You're staring across the chasm of job to no job. Now it's all on you, and it's scary. It is. You're going to have to face down the fear of, what if I fail? What if I don't do this? What if it doesn't work? What if I can't make it happen? You're going to have to face down the fear of, what if I'm not enough? What if I'm not capable enough? What if I'm not good enough? You're going to have to look in the mirror and face all this down. There is no magic time when the stars will align that you'll just magically feel confident and secure enough to quit your job. It is going to be scary. And you want to make peace with that fear rather than trying to fight it or get to a point where you know enough about your business to feel confident you can create success. The worst thing you can do is put this decision off. If you've got everything I've already talked about in place, to put it off and think, well, I've got to read more books, go to more seminars, and study more programs. I got to learn more, and then I'm good. You probably know enough. And it's just fear that's talking and preventing you from actually taking the steps and the actions that you need to leave that job. So understand that ultimately it's going to come down to you making that leap of faith. You have the courage, you have the strength, you have the confidence to do it. I know you can do it, and I know it's going to work out for you as well. The best decisions I've ever made in my life have come from leaving situations that no longer resonated with me. When I knew in my heart, it's time to make this jump, and it was scary every time. It was terrifying every time, but it was also exhilarating every time, because when I look back on my life, it's when I felt most alive. It's when I felt like there was a calling in me. I wasn't just going from my mind or playing small. I was really living in accordance with my highest values. And so when you do that, you come to life in a way unlike anything else you could possibly do. And you're being a great leader and a mentor and a role model to others in your life. Your customers and your clients will really be grateful that you made this leap, because your energy is going to rub off on them. So keep that in mind when you're making your transition from job to your own business full time. Hope this video has been extremely helpful and supportive of you. If so, please give it a like, and be sure to comment as well. Let me know, what are you thinking about? What are you planning with leaving your job? What questions do you have with leaving your job? Where could you use some extra support? Or if you just want to share, maybe you've left your job recently, happy to comment. I'm going to answer every single one of your comments. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe as well. This channel is dedicated to growing your coaching and your consulting business. Take care, good luck to you, and I'll see you in the next video.